Welcome to Courageous Conversations with Dr. Argie. Here, we transform lives, one courageous conversation at a time. Hey!
How you doing, Dr. Argie?
How are
How's everything?
you, Quincy?
Good seeing
Everything's
you.
good. Come on in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
It feels comfortable in here.
Does it?
It does. It
It
really
feels
does.
like
It's
a little
vibe.
therapeutic.
Oh, boy.
A little yellow.
Don't have me crying. I don't want to cry.
What's wrong with crying?
Nothing's wrong.
Okay.
Nothing wrong. No.
Men cry, right?
No,
You
yes,
got
yes, we
emotions,
do.
you got feelings.
Yes,
and,
we do.
You know, I'm the therapist, and we will have a courageous conversation,
For
right?
sure.
All right.
Yes.
So listen, you were golfing
Yes.
today, and I had said to you, like, Morgan and I want to take up golfing, and you
Yeah.
said something that I hadn't thought about in a long time, which is like this idea of like you can engage in your self-care and well-being, but
Yeah.
be doing deals.
Yes.
Like, so tell me a little bit, like, you were golfing early this morning?
Yes, I was golfing this morning. I've been playing golf since the pandemic.
Okay.
Two of my closest friends, their fathers passed.
Oh.
During the pandemic, non-COVID related. And we all have kids, we all, families, busy schedules. And during the pandemic, I meet a guy named Jonathan Lennox. We started doing some business deals. And he's like, come play golf with me. So I saw him and his son play. His son at the time was 16. And I would see them play and I was like, oh, I have 3 sons. Maybe I'll have some time to play, catch up with my kids. This is the only time you get 4 hours. My 2 friends, their fathers passed away. My one friend, he played golf in high school. I was like, let's start bonding. Let's start playing a little bit more. So we started playing, going on trips and different things. And then I would talk to people about just different things. Oh yeah, business deals. I'm like, oh, I play golf. You play golf? Come on, let's go play golf. And then you're out there and you're playing with people and you're learning so much about them, because if you're with somebody for 4 hours, you got to start having real conversations, right? So it's like serious, real deep level conversations that I was having with people that I just met that I didn't have with people that I knew for 15, 20 years. So it's like, what kind of person are you? Who are you? What are you going through? I'm going through this and da-da-da-da-da. So I started learning so much more, and people are like, oh, what are you working on? And if the way you play golf, you can see how somebody interacts in real life. If you lie about a score, you lie about something that don't really matter, you're gonna lie about something in business.
Yeah.
So it's just certain things that you learn, connections that you have. And I think sometimes with men, it's hard for us to be like, man, this is what I'm going through. But when you're playing golf for 4 hours, you get to have deeper conversations. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So, first of all, thank you for that, and welcome to the Courageous Conversation podcast with Dr. Argie.
Thank you for having me.
This is where we transform lives, literally one courageous conversation at a time.
Okay.
And so when you say that you connected with your friends because they had loss and because they had parents that had passed away, I got to tell you, it gets chills go through my body, because I know that loss is one of the most universal things that any of us can ever go through. Yet it's also the most unique thing, right? When people say, I know just how you feel, they don't. So I'm just gonna say, don't say that. Don't say, I know just how you feel. You can say, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
You're in my prayers. You can say, what do you need? You can ask the person what you need, but you can't say, I know just how you feel, because you don't. And specifically for men, I'm not sure if we've done a great job of helping men to understand that loss is a part of the cycle of life, but you're going to go through a bit of an emotional roller coaster called grief, right? And part of grief is this process by which you're experiencing all these maybe familiar or unfamiliar emotions like a roller coaster, and you don't know when it's going to come, right? You can be triggered at any time. Anniversaries, birthdays, holidays, the person's scent, what kind of cologne they wore. And very few people prepare you for this. We all know we're going to be going in the same direction. We know that if there's a birth date, Quincy, there's a death date. We can't predict what's going to happen in the dash, and that's really important because you're creating a legacy. But if we're going in the same direction, why don't we talk about it more? So you said on the golf course, y'all men, you can talk about your feelings and your emotions and nobody judges you.
For sure.
And you connected with your friends out of their loss. I'm curious for you, when you've had your own losses, how did you deal with it? And what did you learn about yourself?
Man, oh boy. Oh, shucks, I came to the wrong podcast. So my mother passed away in 2017.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and it was, let me rewind. 2016, I get my TV show on local Fox 29.
On Fox 29, because we met before that. We met on the
Yeah.
radio.
Yes.
But I also have been at, Good Day many, many, many years.
For sure.
And love the people, their family there.
Yeah. Get my show September 2016. I would talk to my mom and dad were married for 45 years.
Wow.
They grew up in Ocean City, New Jersey, across the street from each other. My mom moved to Pleasantville, New Jersey. My dad moved to Pleasantville, New Jersey right after. So they've been together essentially their entire lives. So we're a really close-knit family, right? Like dinner every night, like just real family.
Yeah.
And so I got my show 2016, September. I would talk to my mom and dad after every show. Oh, I like that, didn't like that, whatever. 2017, March 27th, my mom passes.
March 27th.
2017. 26, 27. She passed, right?
March.
So my dad's birthday is in April. So instead of making sure that we didn't have the funeral around his birthday, we sped. So I'm getting on the phone, let's make sure we can have this funeral. So she died on a Monday. We buried her Saturday. I'm back at work on Monday.
I see where this is going.
Right? So then I get a call, hey, we'd love for you to do radio again. So then I pick up radio. They built a studio inside of Fox 29.
I didn't even know that. Wow.
So I'm doing a morning show of radio, and then I'm doing TV like at like 11. So it was 5 to 10 or 5 to 9, and then I'm going upstairs to do my TV show. And I was burned out. And I thought I could work through my mom passing away.
You thought you could work through it or work it away. Some people say, I'm going to work it away, I'm going to play it away, I'm going to sex it away, I'm going to do all the things away, but grief is not that kind of vibe.
Yeah, and so I was going and I was just wearing down. And then 2020, the pandemic happens, and that was the first time I was able to like sit still and go, okay, how would my mom want me to live my life? Number one, I'm not going to be here. I don't know when, right? Like I was crying, my mom passed when she was 66. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to even make it to 66. What kind of things do I need to do in my life? And it made me more courageous. And I quit my job in the middle of the pandemic with 3 kids and a wife.
Wow.
And I was like, I gotta go. Everybody's like, and I didn't announce it because when you do radio, you do TV, you're always being judged. And that's your job, like for people to like you. Like the ratings, for people to be likable. And I was like, this ain't for nobody but me and my family. Whatever people think, they think. I really don't care. And I quit. And I quit. One of my friends' dads passed 2020, other one 21. So I'm in the hospital with.
Now, did they pass from COVID?
Not COVID.
Not COVID
related.
but during that time.
During that time. Yeah. And so I'm in the hospital with one of my friends who I said we play golf, and his dad is passing, and I'm like, it's either like my mom passed, like what am I doing with my life? I feel like I'm sleepwalking. Called my dad. I was like, Dad, and my dad worked for the city of Philadelphia, street department. He fixed traffic lights for 35 years. Very consistent. Get a job, do this. And I called my dad. And I said, Dad, I don't know if I can sign this contract. He said, he didn't say Q. He said, Quince, you'll figure it out. He said, the funny thing about life is it goes in tens. I can't believe at the time my dad was 70. He was like, you're 20, I was 20, then I married your mom, then I had kids, and 30 and 40 and 50, and now I'm 70. He said, just, you'll figure it out. And that was the first time my dad would ever said something like that to me. And I think he said it because the loss of my mother, like, it was so final. And in that time, I was like, I'm out. I get with y'all. Bye. And it wasn't for announcement. It wasn't for people. And every time I see people now, like, what happened? I'm like, I left. Really? Yeah. It's not for you to.
Yeah, this is your story.
Yes.
Your journey.
Yes.
Your transformative process, not anybody else's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to answer your question in a long story form, it made me more courageous and understand that time is the only commodity that we have. You can get money back, you can get houses, you can get jobs, all that stuff. I'm like, whatever. But time, if I don't look, I'm very particular about how I spend my time now.
Yeah. You know, I feel that death specifically has a way of changing us.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not,
Yeah.
it's coming. The change is coming. And if you're not prepared, it's kind of like your shadow. No matter where you go, there it is. Yeah. And with death and with grief, that change will happen not only whether you like it or not, but whether you know it or not. It just happens. You start looking at life differently. You start looking at people differently. You start looking at the relationships that you've been in, asking yourself why you're in those relationships, or is it past its expiration date and you've chosen to keep yourself in a relationship that the universe told you was not good for you, whether it's work or people or any kind of situation that you're in. And so, but for men in particular, you know, not too long ago, our pastor, the Reverend Dr. Alan E. Weiler, you know him.
Yes.
He preached a sermon called Man Up. And I can't remember the subtitle. It was something like the spiritual dilemma of what men are going through. And he really talked about this idea that there's all of these messages. There's such a heavy burden on men. And you all are the protectors, you're the providers. That hasn't changed, but how you do that, how you move has changed. And there's so many people judging that, right? And so we all have this culpability in life. I'll never forget it. I don't know if you remember when the Pope came to Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
And I happened to be off that summer for vacation. And I was glued to the TV. And there was one particular speech that he gave. And it was to young people who were thinking and contemplating marriage. And he said, don't give up. We need you to do this, even if it's hard. Because quite frankly, it's all hard.
Oh, man.
You're just going to choose your heart.
For sure.
If you're single, it's hard. If you're married, it's hard. If you don't have children, it's hard. If you do have children, it's hard, right?
Yes.
I believe that you find your sweet spots in the middle of the hard. Just like there's a calm in the middle of a storm, or there's a rainbow after the storm, you'll find spaces and places where you can access joy. But a lot of it is hard, which is why we have to learn how to have good coping skills. We have to learn how to problem solve. We have to learn how to have courageous conversations that connect versus disconnect. Because the relationships or the people that I see, Quincy, in therapy, the ones that are struggling the most are the people who feel like they have bypassed the hard conversations. They thought if they bypassed it, it would go away.
No.
Or if they didn't rock the boat, or if they didn't show up and say that this was their concern, that it was gonna all go away. And what I see is it only got worse, right? People just put all of their complaints and their concerns and their infractions into what I call a big basket of resentment that I call the resentment flu. And then they level it against the person later down the line. So now you're getting a great divorce, and one of the persons doesn't even know why we're getting a divorce because never talked about it. So, you know, we got work to do as a community, But we also have work to do as men and women.
Yeah.
Because how we move and operate is different. But we can't be in these relationships when we haven't discussed what happened to us, the trauma, and then what's happening to us so that we can reverse engineer and then try to move forward in a healthier way, right? So even I'm gonna go back to that the conversation at church, man up. For you, you've got 3 boys. If you were to tell your boys, man up, what does that really mean to them in a different generation? And what do you feel like you're modeling for them when it comes to this concept of man up?
It's so funny. Me and one of my friends had this conversation today. I think there's a stigma about being a man. Hey, I got it. I'm everything's good. I'm cool. I go back to golf. I would golf with guys in other nationalities. They would tell me things. Almost lost my house. My kid is going through this. I'm going through this. I'm like, how am I having this deeper conversation with a brother who's not a brother? Right? I'm like, bro, this is
like,
crazy.
Bro,
yeah.
We need to step that up, right?
So it became a thing where I'm like, what are my relationships about with my boys? Not my sons, my friends. Like when I say, "Are you good? Are you good?" When you ask me, "What do you need?" Can I tell you what I really need? Because it's not, the whole.
And you not judge me, right?
So I have no shame. You know, people, I have no shame in my game. I have no shame. I'm an entrepreneur. That's ups and downs, right? I'm married. It's ups and downs. I got kids. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're not, right? So when I see people or we're in a circle and you're asking me real things, I'm expecting real conversation. So for my boys, manning up means, for me, man up, it's like, ask for help. Be vulnerable. What do you need? I'm here to help you. I'm not here to just like, oh, you ain't clean your room. Oh, you did this test. Like, not that. Like, what do you really need? I'm here to be helpful. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help guide you. I've made mistakes. Maybe I can give you some answers before you go down the wrong path. So like manning up is not like, yo, I got it. Because the most successful people, I will say in business, they have help. If they don't know,
they delegate.
They
right?
delegate and they ask. Like, I don't know what you mean. What's that mean? Tell me. Oh, you know how to do that? Can you help me with this? The most successful people. So manning up for me is like telling my kids, like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not have the answers. It's okay to learn, right? I was just talking to one of my friends. He has 2 boys, and he was like, dude, I'm thinking about learning how to cut my boy's hair. Wouldn't that be kind of cool to pick up another skill? I'm like, I never thought about that. And he's like, yeah, dude, like, wouldn't that be kind of cool to like teach your kids how to do?
Save a lot of money that way.
Save money, but then just also going into things, understanding that you don't know. So you know what I did? I called one of my friends who I play golf. We've known each other since 5. He used to cut my hair. I'm like, bro, right in the car. I was like, bro, man, I had this conversation with my boy. Yo, you think you would teach? Yeah, that's nothing. I'm gonna send you some links. And just today.
Wow.
So I'm leaning on people. I'm not acting as if, and I will say this, I used to when I first started out in entrepreneurship, everything's fine. Everything's cool. I have a friend. I'll say his name. Andre McCrae. It's my guy. He asked me, how you doing? I'm like, oh, everything's fine. Everything's good. Okay. How you doing, man? Oh, man, I'm great, man. I'm good. He's like, I want you to come to this meeting with me. So I go to this meeting with him. It's a guy who sold a company. And he was like, hey, man, have you ever had some hard times? Again, another dude who's not a black guy. Oh, yeah, I almost lost my house like a couple times, man. He don't even know me. He's saying this in front of me. Oh, yeah. I almost lost, yeah. I just kept fighting. But, yeah, I almost lost my, I'm like, I wouldn't even get that from a friend because we're too proud.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just in this place where I'm like, ask for help. I don't know everything. I'm trying to figure things out, and I'm trying to pass that along to my sons. That's where I'm at.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. You know, when we think about passing to the next generation, and by the way, you guys, please like, share, subscribe, follow wherever you follow, get your podcast. But we need the algorithms. We need to keep this going, and we need your help. So please, and you think this is positive, and you want to learn how to have courageous conversations, and you like this content, share it with other folks. Okay. So listen. We just went through something in our family and we lost our matriarch.
Sorry to hear that.
Thank you. And I do this work. And as a matter of fact, I probably won't go back to school for much else, but I do think one day I want to become a death doula. And when I thought about the matriarch of our family transitioning, God bless her soul, I know she's smiling upon us, my Aunt Dot. I often thought about what is it like to have the weight of a family on your shoulders? And also, she lived to be 5 days shy of 96.
Wow.
Which means that the majority of her children, and she was one of 9, the majority of, her siblings, she was one of 9, had already transitioned, including my mother. And so not only do you carry that weight, but you carry the loss, you carry the responsibility, you carry the desire to continue to move forward. You're carrying a lot. And I think that to a certain degree, some of us don't really know what it's like to carry that weight, right? Or if we're carrying it, we want to offload it, right? And we're now in a culture where it's like, let's delete it, let's cancel it, we don't like it, let's quit it, let's just check out. Like, when you think about what you are even sharing with your wife, because I want to kind of get into relationships from that perspective, because you said it's hard too. You agree that it's hard.
Oh, for sure.
And that there's good times and there's bad times, there's ups and there's downs, there's trials and tribulations. Even when you get married, they say for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, until death do us part. We say those words, but then we go on about our business like we never said it, right? And so there's something also in the zeitgeist around marriage. And what's in the zeitgeist around marriage is like this idea, I can't remember the woman's name that said it, that marriage is modern day slavery, right? Interestingly enough, I think there's a comedian that said that. And it took wildfire because I think what was happening was there were some people that were thinking it and they were too afraid to say it. There were some people that were offended by that statement because they're married and they're like, okay, if I'm in modern day slavery, then what does this mean about me? Yeah. And then there's some people that were just confused about like, well, how do I move forward if this is a form of oppression, if that's true? And so what I landed on, Quincy, is that I believe in marriage is an institution. I don't necessarily believe that it's for everyone, but I do believe in it. There's a caveat to that. And the caveat is you can't learn everything from the model that was given to you because that was a different era where things were different. They were simple, right? There were gender scripts. Now we've got a bunch of distractions, weapons of mass distraction. So guess what? You got to learn a different skill set. So women have to learn a different skill set. Men have to learn a different skill set. Back in the day, women, we weren't even able to work, let alone purchase a house or, get a bank account. Now we have our own funds. So the way in which we need the men in our lives might be different. But how do we still show up as these feminine beings, which is our superpower? How do you guys show up as with your masculine energy, which is your superpower too, by not try to dominate and control? Because that's where the tension comes in. Because this is a beautiful tapestry of this connection between men and women that I don't believe we're really fully tapping into because we're at odds all the time. So I'm curious because clearly you're married. Yeah. When you've had bad times, how did you find yourself finding a pathway out of those bad times? And what did you do? What was your superpower?
I think one, I mean, you said some great things. So my mom and dad were married for 45 years, right? So I have a foundation of what it looks like, up, down, right?
Longevity.
Getting over the hump, right? I'm choosing my words because my dad, I gotta, I don't know what I can share, but and what I mean by that is just like, it may have been some financial issues. It may have been some like nothing crazy.
Life was life, no. Life was
Yeah,
life.
but what I saw was like they were together. They
Commitment.
Like, oh my gosh, like the day before my mom passed, I was like, man, I need to see her. So I went to the hospital. She passed from lung cancer, and like
My mom did too, actually.
sorry to hear that. And my dad was there, and I just like snuck a picture. I never showed him. I hope he'll see this. Anyway, snuck a picture. But like sometimes I go back to that picture because it's like he was dedicated. Like that laid the foundation for everything, right? So when I saw hard times in my relationship, my marriage is like, nah, we gotta stick this through. Because I think people forget, especially when you have kids, like, this is not just about you, right? This affects how they're going to go out into the world, right? So for me, it's like, I gotta figure this out so they can figure it out, right? Sometimes I'm around wealthy people. Someone figured out financially how to make this work. Whatever this, like they did this thing and then that thing turned into this interest and now people are living off the interest of the interest of the interest of the
Compound interest.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Somebody figured that out. So I'm like, how can I figure this out in this new age? Right? I got 3 sons. Like this is what it is. It's not going out and having a bunch of women. Like if you're doing that, there's some other things that you're not doing that you don't have time for, that you're taking away from. So for me, it's just like, just leaning on what I saw with my mom and dad. Like they thugged it out. They like my mom and dad, my life completely changed, right? So my sister, I have a sister's 4 years older than me. There was what was it? It was a school strike.
Okay.
So public school strike. So my sister wasn't allowed to go to public school at the time, but she was of age, so she went to Catholic school. I was able to go to the same school, but because my birthday's in January, I would have to wait till the next year. They had a relationship with the school. I was able to get eased in. So I'm 6 to 8 months or maybe even a year younger than a lot of my friends.
Got it.
But those friends are my friends, still some of my friends to this day. How I got into radio, I snuck backstage with a guy I went to high school with because he drove. And I met a DJ. Like things just happened because of these different decisions that my parents made. It's like, you ever watch a show and it's like Back to the Future? You change just one little thing and it changes everything in the course of someone's life. So I'll just say like the certain things that my parents did, it just became a reference. Like, oh, well, my parents didn't have a lot of money. Well, maybe I get my kids into this kind of school. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, let me see. It's just the foundation.
Yeah, the foundation.
The foundation. I was able to look at it like, I've seen hard times before. We'll get out of this. And then have communication. And I think a lot of times we have these different things where you said mass distraction. I think sometimes in marriage, it's massive miscommunication. You're thinking this because of your past. I'm thinking this because of my past. And then I'm just saying no, not saying something that happened to me in 1984 is making me say no.
Yeah.
Right? So now we got to understand why you're saying no, why you're saying yes, why don't you like conflict, all those different things.
All those things. I do this exercise. It's an exercise about no's. And I say to my clients, you can KNOW-ing. That's knowing. And the more you know what happened, the more you will have empathy and goodwill for what happened in your partner's life. So my job is to ask the right questions for you to start knowing so that you can take good care of your partner versus knowing N-O-hyphen-I-N-G. That's the conflict, that's the misunderstanding, that's the cross messages, that's the sarcasm, that's the rolling eyes. You'd be surprised how adults can act like petulant children when they're in conflict, but a lot of times it's because they're asking their partner to cash a check they didn't write. And actually, they're dealing with unresolved issues that have happened with a partner way before you came into their lives. We call it family of origin. Family of origin is that it impacts us earlier, more frequently, longer, more powerfully, and more profoundly than anything else. And so that's important for you to know, because when you're thugging it out, you had to have all the information necessary. You use the skills and the tools of watching your parents as a model. Some people don't have that. Some people won't have that model, so they have to go out and create it, or go get a mentor, or a sponsor, or a therapist, or a spiritual advisor. But most importantly, it's okay to not know. It's not okay to continue to not know, right? Because knowledge is power. And even Dr. Maya Angelou said, she did the best she knew how to do, but when she knew better, she what? She did better, right? And so, listen, this is an amazing conversation. We typically, kind of at the end of our conversation, I ask you something about if you learned in your adult life of something that you were most fearful of, and you could go back and share that with your younger self, what would it be?
Fearful. I mean, if I was fearful when I was younger.
If you're fearful, something that you feel like you were fearful of even as an adult, something you struggle with, but you learned about it. And then if you could go back and tell your younger self, hey, you didn't have to worry so much about this, what would it be?
I think for me, it was professionally, right? Like, I always wanted more, right? Like, so I was on radio. I only did radio because I was trying to get to TV. So all of the stuff I did on radio, I was like, all right, this is cool. I'm trying to get to TV. I never, until recently, really savored the right now. I was always looking towards the next thing. And so that caused a certain anxiety in me, like, all right, I'm done. Okay, I'm here. I don't care about this. I'm moving to LA. All right, move to LA, did this. Okay, move back. All right, but if I'm here, I got to do this, this, and this. So I think for me, it's just like, letting myself really be grateful for the moment, the present moment, not the future, not what you messed up in the past, just savoring the present. Yeah.
That's good. Because I think that years ago we didn't know what mindfulness was, right? We thought mindfulness was something else. But really, we spend so much time focusing on the thing that we can't change from the past, or the thing that we can't control, which is the future, that we forget that we're right here now, and there's some beautiful things about right here now that we can be grateful for.
Yes.
And so that's what you would tell your younger self. Yeah. And I didn't know that you didn't want necessarily radio, because that's where you started out. And so I'm just curious. I know we're wrapping up, but I'm just curious. How have you had to reinvent yourself in this era where everybody has a platform?
Yeah. I will say, so for me, 12 years old, I saw Arsenio Hall. I was like, I want to do that. Whatever that guy's doing, he's talking to rappers, he's talking to everybody, I want to do that. So radio for me was just literally like trying to get to that. For me now, it's not so much. And then when I was on TV, you had to show so much. You had to give so much of yourself, your family. Show us pictures of the baby when the baby comes out. Like I'm like, whoa.
Like exposure.
It's just
at the highest level.
It was too much. So for me now, it's like I share what I want to share. Like, my private life is really private. Like, I don't need to tell or show nothing of my kids or my wife. I was talking to somebody, it was a couple months ago. They was like, is everything cool with you and your wife? I'm like, wow, yeah. Why you say that? I haven't seen you post. I'm not posting my family for y'all. I'm not using them as as a bargaining chip or marketing. Like, we really live life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool, you know? So it's
I
just,
love that for
it's
you.
like, get to pick and choose what I want to put out there.
And curate the life that you choose.
Yes.
That is a life well lived for you and your family.
Gosh, you know what you just said. One of my friends, we talk about a life well lived, and we're about to develop some content around it. So you just saying that it's like that's like crazy that you just said that.
That's how the universe shows
Yes.
up, right? That's the spiritual connection.
For sure.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for being on
Thank you.
the Courageous Conversation show with Dr. Argie.
I appreciate it. And I
You
didn't
gonna
cry.
come back?
You don't even know. I was like, ooh, she
I
about
know,
to kill me. I was like, she about to kill me.
Hey guys, if you like this conversation, you are going to love the next conversation. So tune in to Courageous Conversations with Dr. Argie. It's going to be fire.